Hello everybody, welcome to Pre-Med Diaries, episode 2. So you might be wondering why I'm dressed like this today. I have a good answer for you. For the past year and a half, I have been working at a company called Ortho Arizona. So when it comes to clinical experience, I have prescribing experience, but as of now, my current occupation is being a radiology transporter / assistant for Ortho Arizona. These jobs include the task of taking patients back to rooms, being able to lift patients up and down, as well as assisting our radiology techs with the ability to take the best x-rays. So, it's not the most important job in the world, but I'm very happy with it. I feel very fulfilling at the time being. However, I want something more. And I am very fortunate enough to work along with a group of very capable physicians in addition to amazing staff. But I have recently taken a leave of absence for the sake of studying for the MCAT. So, with my business background, I only thought it would be interesting to actually use it. I do have past experiences using the business majors with full capacity, going on consulting trips to Mexico City, consulting for fashion companies as well as Axon in Scottsdale. But it's something I really want to explore once again because I feel like business is such a universal language that the whole world uses. Even in medicine, business is very important. So I recently reached out to our HR team at Ortho Arizona and stated my intentions. And now, fortunately, I've been able to have the opportunity to speak to one of the HR representatives for Ortho Arizona, talking about what my goals are. So let's see what happens. Alright folks, so quick update. I ended up going to that meeting earlier today around 10:30 a.m. and I just want to say it was very pleasant meeting the Ortho Arizona HR team. It seemed like they were actively listening to my requests and trying to understand where I'm trying to build. And on top of that, they also spoke about future opportunities even when I actually get into medical school, such as rotations or doing research and so forth. And as orthopedics being a subject I'm very interested in, I'm very happy to hear how much they're intrigued in my future career options. So it was a very happy day. Afterwards, I went straight to the library, did some Anki. It was actually a lot of Anki. It took around 2 hours. And then afterwards, I read a little bit more of the book, When Breath Becomes Air. And it was phenomenal. We did around 150 Anki cards today. And it was a little bit hectic, but that's perfectly fine. And then around 2 p.m.-ish, I started feeling a little bit exhausted for some reason. So I decided to abruptly go home and take a nap. And now we're here. In other news, while being at Ortho Arizona today, I was also able to see one of my mentors, Dr. Peter Boyle, an amazing orthopedic surgeon who graduated from a school nearby here called Midwestern. And he told me that I have the opportunity to go into his OR tomorrow to shadow him, where he'll be doing 3 procedures, 1 hip replacement, 1 knee replacement, as well as 1 knee scope. So I will be at Honor Health Sonoran tomorrow morning, and I'm very excited for the cases that we'll be seeing tomorrow. So Mo and I were getting the most sickest chest and tricep pump known to man, of course, because that's the only way you could do it. Chest days are the best days, you feel me? When suddenly, boom, the lights go off. And then after the lights shut off, people were still working out at the gym. That's crazy. So you see the lights turn off, but then you just hear the weights clanking everywhere still. And I don't know, they made us evacuate afterwards. So then Mo and I decided, let's go to Walmart. Let's go get some snacks. So we went to go get some snacks, and we went back to the gym. And the gym was back up and functional again. But then we were already too tired and I have an early day tomorrow. So we ended up deciding to go home. Hello, can I just get a sorted dozen, please?
Is there anything else today?
No, that'll be it.
Right. Did you want any like specific ones, or just kind of like the popular ones? Like
You know, anything like you think nurses would like, that'd be perfect.
nurses?
Yeah. Great, thank you so much. So we were able to successfully grab the donuts, and now we're on our way to the OR. The drive is around 15 minutes away. I know I'm kind of late for this, so I apologize to you, Dr. Boyle, but I always love to treat the nurses, and you know that. So, pet peeve, this is something big I'd highly encourage. If you ever go step inside someone's OR, or even are allowed to shadow, you get extra brownie points if you bring food. Food is everything to everyone, so definitely bring food, bring donuts, bring whatever you think people will like, and people will automatically like you. They don't even know who you are, but they'll be like, oh, that's him, that's the kid, he's the one that brought the donuts. So definitely do that, and everyone will ask you questions all day, everyone will be interested in you, and you'll be a spotlight. So on Wednesday, after I brought in the donuts, I dropped them off to the nurses inside the break room and ultimately ended up switching out into a pair of scrubs. These scrubs, they're not my favorite color, but just the feeling of wearing them and knowing that what you're about to experience in the next couple of minutes or hours is about to be life-changing for someone else is definitely an amazing feeling. The first procedure, being a knee scope, was very unique because I've seen scopes done on the hand before, and they were pretty similar. They're very tight areas to navigate around to make sure that nothing else gets damaged, but it's always just a nice feeling to know that something you fix will automatically make a patient feel better, especially when it comes to orthopedics. And I think just in general, that's something I want to pursue in the future. But after that first procedure was done, it was great because Dr. Boyle and I got a chance to sit down. We went to the physician lounge, which was a dream of mine for a long time because everyone always talks about the physician lounge and how great it is, especially my med student friends and physicians and PAs and so forth. And it's great to know that they just have like a wide variety of snacks, a lot of drinks just available just for physicians to take. And along with that, I was able to sit down, talk to Dr. Boyle. We talked about philosophy and so forth. Very interesting, intriguing conversations. Made me use my brain a lot, and that's pretty rare as a shadow, so big ups to you, Dr. Boyle. So after some initial chatting, we ended up going back into the OR, and I was surprised to see the person that was assisting Dr. Boyle for the hip replacement was actually his wife, who is a general surgeon. Like, can you imagine that? A general surgeon and orthopedic surgeon power couple. It must be nice. They did an amazing job. They worked very well together, very professional. She was very kind to me. And the thing about hip replacements is that they're a lengthy procedure, but you could usually tell which parts of the hip, the femoral head, are not doing well. And also on top of that, just through working as an x-ray transporter for the past year and a half, I'm able to see what's wrong with the actual x-rays at this point. So I thought that was very intriguing. The whole procedure took around an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete, but time passes really quickly when you're in the OR, especially when you're just so intrigued by every single part of the process. Also, during one part of the surgery too, I had seen Dr. Boyle start hammering in one of the stems into the hip, and just like a splash of blood hit me on the face, and I'm pretty sure there's bone fragments in there too because I felt something fall off my face. Insert clip right here. And that was the first time I've ever been hit with a splash zone, so new experiences every day. So like all good things, sadly they come to an end. So when it comes to the third procedure, it was actually canceled, but that's perfectly fine. The cool thing is though, that I was able to scrub out, did the usual, went back outside, and when I went outside of the hospital, it was very sunny. There was no rain like earlier that day, But then I went straight to the library. We rinse and repeat all the time. Anki, content review, reading, and it was a great day. So I would say that it was quite the experience, and I look forward to shadowing Dr. Boyle again down the line. Let's move on to Thursday. So moving on to Thursday now, we started off the day as usual with some Anki, lots of reading of both the textbook as well as finishing up the book When Breath Becomes Air. And honestly, such an incredible book. This one quote right here hits different. You can't ever reach perfection, but you can believe in asymptote toward which you are ceaselessly striving. Never give up, always fight, because this dream just started, and dreams don't become dreams by just thinking. You have to work towards them. So on Thursday, after all the studying and so forth, went to the gym and also did a hardcore take on the editing as well. I've been trying to up my editing performance for you guys so that you could have a better viewing experience and so forth. And compared to episode 1 of Pre-Med Diaries, I think we've made massive improvements. Let's move on to Friday. I feel like I'm always going to start the days with the same basic thing, but yes, on Friday too, more Anki, more reading. We actually started a new book. It's called Before Your Memory Fades. And the good thing about this book is it's part of a series, with the first book being the famous novel Before the Coffee Gets Cold. And speaking of that, we have a special announcement. So, alongside Pre-Med Diaries, I'll be starting another series that we'll be calling Before the Coffee Runs Out. Let me tell you about it. So Before the Coffee Runs Out is basically gonna be a short podcast. I believe it'll just run 10 or 20 minutes at a time. We shall see. Details to be discussed. We haven't filmed our first episode yet. But the thing about it is that we're going to be going to a coffee shop. It could be a local or corporate. And we're going to grab a drink from there. And we're going to do the podcast in an actual car. So most definitely my car most of the times. And we're going to have it set up so that me and another guest are in there. I'll be hosting, of course. And the best part about it, we'll be talking about various topics such as relationships, love, life balance, work, and experience and so forth. And we just think it'll be a fun way for me to just show you guys various people's experiences with life and so forth, as well as maybe give a new insight of just growth, because that's what we live for. I think growing is such an important part of life that just learning about other people's stories and just knowing about every person's experience is such a valuable thing to know, especially even if you don't use it. So I'm here. I think the good thing about my channel is I really want to promote diversity, inclusivity, and just give off a lot of people's experiences of life. So I'm really excited to show you guys what comes out of it. So back to Pre-Med Diaries. Afterwards, after all the studying that was happened on Friday, I ended up going hiking with my best friend Fernando. And the thing about us, we really enjoy hiking. It was supposed to be a pickleball night, but the thing about it is the person who had the pickleball set ended up getting sick, so we had to find something else to do. And wow, what a coincidence. Near the pickleball court is an amazing park. So we went hiking there. We were there. As soon as we reached the top, we talked for a while, and then we decided we wanted to grab a drink, so we called up our other friend too, Andre. And man, this guy is such a cool guy. I've known him ever since elementary school. I love him to death. Same for Fernando as well. You'll get to see more footage of them down the line. But we ended up going to a place called Cheddar's where we just had some really good food. I don't even know if I have footage for it. If I do, I'll link it right here. But on top of that, then afterwards we decided that we wanted to grab drinks. So my drink of choice was water for the night and Diet Coke. But then they got alcoholic beverages. It's a Friday night, they deserve to let loose. But on top of that, when we went to the drink area, which is a pizzeria called Mellow Mushroom, who has happy hour every day at 10 p.m., we ended up getting a lot of appetizers. So we got one pretzel bite as well as 2 spinach artichoke dips, as well as Andre and Fernando getting drinks. It was a really good night. Let's move on to Saturday. So a continuation of Friday and Thursday, Saturday was filled with more Anki, more content review, and better yet, more reading. after leaving the library temporarily, I decided to meet up with one of my best friends, Wilford, at a coffee shop called Elevate, where we studied a little bit more. I got a little bit of editing done, and it was just a very productive day in general. And by the way, also, on top of all this, it's always gym. So I always go to gym regardless, and it's a great time. So health is wealth, so they say. So let's move on to Sunday. So Sunday morning, we started off the routine a little bit differently. Went to the gym with a good friend of mine named Alora. She ended up buying me a protein shake. We ended up hitting legs and abs, and it was quite the workout. She did very good. She actually kept up really well. So good for you, Alora. You get an A+ for the day. I've been waiting for you, Mr. Bond. So afterwards, I went to the library at ASU West, which is my alma mater, which is where I graduated my undergrad from, and went back to the library. It's very nostalgic, haven't been there in a while, and it was just such a beautiful area to be in. I was studying the usual Anki content review as well as more reading, but the good thing about it, I actually love enjoying and exploring the ASU West library, so I didn't just read from my personal collection, but I also looked around the library, spotted out a couple of gems, did a couple more readings, and also got just a good feeling just being there. So that was great. And that was my day for Sunday. So very successful day, very successful week in general. So let's get to the conclusion. So this week was a very productive week, very fun week. Got a lot done when it comes to content review. Got a lot of reading done. Definitely would recommend reading for anyone, especially if it's anything, just anything in general to stimulate your brain. It's such a good time. And also shadowing, once again, such an honor, especially when it comes to an orthopedic surgeon. I'd like to thank everyone out there who helped me get this opportunity, and I'd love to be more proactive in the orthopedic community down the line. So this is the end of Pre-Med Diaries episode 2. I'm excited to show you guys episode 3 down the line, and also stay tuned for the first episode of Before the Coffee Runs Out. If you like this content, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to post them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer any of them. Thank you guys so much. See you guys later. Peace.